This is James Altucher here at TheStreet.com TV, and I'm here with hedge fund manager and TV host Jim Cramer. And today I want to talk about the Beat the Street game, Jim. This is week 2 of the Beat the Street game. Last week I got a hold of a list of the top holdings of the top winning contestants so far.
Oh, good. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's in the Beat the Street Top Stocks Portfolio and Stock Picker.
Okay.
And what I want to do is right now a little lightning round with you, where I'm going to ask you these stocks.
Sure.
And then there's really three possibilities. Are these stocks still good for the game, which is only a 2-month contest? Right. Are they long-run holds, long-term holds,
right,
or are they just outright sells for the game?
Very valuable
for long-term
analysis.
Holds?
Very valuable.
So, Cell Genesis, C-E-G-E.
That to me was like a one-shot thing. You either get the approval for the drug. It reminds me of this Adalor that blew up. This is perfect for the game, horrible for your long-term investment.
Is it still good for the game, or are those, there was the flash in the pan, cancer stocks all ran up last week. Are they still good for the game?
I think they come right, these are repetitive run-ups. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, you could catch another wave. How much better would it be if you decided to go up and buy a Celgene, which has at least 7 more data points this year, including a couple that could be in May. That I would much rather see. And now it's also near a breakout. It's at 58. So, you could argue that on a percentage basis, not that great, but it's certainly more likely.
Well, it's interesting because, let's even take Dendrion or Cell Genesis. None of these stocks are actually getting through phase 3 yet. The FDA has not approved anything.
No, Dendrion was just a classic case. And I have to tell you, I clearly missed this. I had no idea that the short position was so aggressive because that's kind of what makes for a great stock in the game. It's just a fantastic short position that then forces on good news everyone to cover. But those are those are probably 1 in 6,000.
So it's interesting. Cell Genesis, though, is the top holding of the winning contestants so far. Now, another one is Medarex.
And that's actually a good company long term. I like that call. It's also in a cohort of healthcare that is long running secular thesis.
Well, it's interesting, too, because they have anthrax, drugs that are going through potentially cancer stocks. There's a lot more drugs in the pipeline.
I would tell people, I've been emphasizing that those who are Medarex should switch to Insight. Mm-hmm. I like Insight for even more upside. Insight's going to have a series of things going on from that are going to be phase 2, which is going to be exciting people because they can go to phase 3. I have been also recommending Nasdaq, which is this company that was just annihilated by by a giant seller, NSTK, again, with data points ahead of it. I think that anyone who's trying to buy biotech should be looking at Insight and Nasdaq. I think they could be game winners.
Well, Nasdaq's interesting just because of the rise in autism. Nasdaq's like the winning company right now.
They got this guy Hollander. Now, unfortunately, I have some experience in my family with autism. And Hollander is an esteemed name. There's no reason for putting his name. He's probably the foremost writer about autism. There's no reason why he would affiliate with Nasdaq because he is really one of these guys who's very rigorous, unless there's something to their autism drug. I love when I looked at the portfolio that you had on Stock Picker about autism, it really was the only pure play was Nasdaq. The others were interesting, but I don't think would deliver the kind of pop that game players might want.
So another stock that you've been recommending lately that's also been on the top list for the Beat the Street gamers is London Mining, LMC.
I have been trying to figure out whether to go back and do this one again on my TV show. When I say because, I got to be careful. I have been so behind London Mine. I just caught this big move because they just made this acquisition. But every time FCX moves up, and today it's at 70, London should move up. London is, if you look at the global economy for copper, people think, well, hold it, London is a European play in copper. But what people don't recognize is that the Chinese are voracious. They're pulling up the price of copper even if you're not selling copper to them. LMC is this unbelievable company that is putting together assets to be bought by CVRD, by Rio Tinto, maybe by Freeport. And I think that LMC is a perfect game stock. Perfect.
Because you think there could be a pop in the next 2 months? Or
I think the numbers are way too low. I also think, by the way,
trades for like 8 times earnings.
I mean, look, what people don't understand is this was they did this reverse split. Oh, look, You catch one analyst who covers London, LMC, you got a $16 stock. I think that works.
Well, now, London or CVRD, Rio?
CVRD, 52-week high again. It's made a monster move. Every time the price of nickel goes up, they have this tremendous leverage because remember there's like a kind of nice oligopoly for nickel. I like London much more up here. London, CVRD at 40 goes to 44. London at 13 goes to 16. I mean, you can figure out the percentages, obviously.
Now, another one of your favorite companies, is also a big favorite of the Beat the Streeters, is NYX.
NYX, recommended today by Citigroup in a very bullish report. People are looking wrong. People are looking at volume numbers and percentage share, New York Stock Exchange versus NASDAQ. I have been in to see Thane over and over again, he's the CEO of NYX, to show that post the Euronext closing, this is just an irrelevant, maybe a 5% driver. I'm with them. NYX at 95 must be bought. There's a couple companies coming out of the S&P. This is a natural to be in. The company does not have any big insider sellership. We kind of wiped them out. I think numbers are way too low, and this was the first buy recommendation. There's 12 holds.
Now, GameStop or a long-term hold, or both?
NYX, I think, is a classic example of a company that is like CME when it was at 100. People don't understand that the numbers are way too low. The fees for trading are going to go up. You want to be more levered to Europe than the United States. I think NYX is great.
So do you think, now, given that they're, moving into Europe with Euronext, do you think there's some risk that if the U.S. doesn't deregulate the financial exchanges here, allow more...
There would be a home run here if we had a real antitrust division. The reason I say that is because the clearing division, with CME and CBOT, the reason why they want to merge is because there's tremendous monopoly share then on clearing of futures. If the antitrust division recognized this, they would make them spin off BOTs clearing. NYX buys it. You got a $200 stock.
What's the effect that bond trading is going to have on NYX?
Well, I think more importantly than bond trading, NYX is derivative NYX. I don't think bond trading NYX is that big.
Okay, well, these are the stocks right now. Currently, the best
Can
stocks.
I just go back and just emphasize this Insight is an unloved stock, $7 stock. I think this one goes to $9.
And you think GameStop or long-term hold, both?
I think Insight has got so much money that you can own it for a long term. I think it's the ultimate speculative play.
Well, now, another thing also that I forgot to mention was that in the Beat the Street game, you can short, not just go long. So in the other games out there, you can't short.
When I look at what should be shorted right here, I am going to come back to the controversial Take-Two. Now, the reason I say that is because I believe that it's been pumped up by a 37% buyer of OPCO, and there may not be a there. This stock could still get hit. How about long GameStop, short Take-Two?
Well, what about, though, the possibility that, the SACs of the world are going to try to get Take-Two to get bought?
There's nothing there.
And Strauss-Zelnick's pretty good
I think
manager.
he's a great man, and I've met with him. I wanted him to come in my old hedge fund. What I would tell you is that this is one of those stocks, and I've seen this before, where the hedge funds, why did that investigation go formal? I wonder whether it isn't hedge fund collusion.
And what would they be trying to do?
Well, I think the government is very upset with the idea that there are hedge funds who are getting together in what could be a violation of the proxy rules. Maybe this is their vehicle.
That's interesting because they did announce that they were going together on Take-Two.
Yes,
but maybe,
they did.
But
I don't think the government likes that.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was the Beat the Street
Fabulous.
top stocks on Stock Picker. You can find the full list. And thanks, Jim. Thanks.
Thank you, James.